Welcome back to In Pursuit 360. Today we're going to be talking about interviews, law enforcement interviews, any career interview. So if you got an interview coming up, stay tuned. You'll want to see this. All right, here we go. In Pursuit 360. Do me a favor and get a chance, hit that subscribe button, the like button, make some comments down below. But today we're going to talk about interviews. So you may want to actually hear about the interview process or some tips and tricks for the interview process. This is going to be really geared towards law enforcement, but it really works for any kind of a career interview that you may have coming up. So first things first, you get through the process, you fill out your application, you send in your resume, you do your initial talk or take a test or maybe your physical agility test. Now you get invited in for a sit-down interview. Most interviews with law enforcement, or really any company anymore, are panel interviews. So you'll have 3 to 5 people sitting up in front of a room. They're all set up at a big table. They're all looking at you, and then probably about 4 or 5 feet away is going to be another table or just a chair where you get to go in and sit down and answer the questions that they're going to ask you, and then ask some questions in return. So be prepared for a panel. One of the biggest issues that I've seen in all the interview panels that I've taken part in is a lack of confidence by the people coming in, or they're trying to be humble and they think that that's what they want to see, or what we wanted to see was a humility and not being cocky or arrogant. There's a difference between being confident, and then there's a difference in being cocky or arrogant. So you need to be confident in yourself. You need to understand that you deserve to be there and that you deserve the opportunity to move forward in this career field that you've chosen. So first things first, dress to impress. Wear a suit. Don't wear khakis and a collared shirt. Don't wear a t-shirt. Don't wear a suit. If you don't have one, go buy one. You need to dress pants with the matching coat, with a tie, and a clean haircut, clean shaven. Do some research on the agency or the company that you're going for and find out what their policies are. As an example, Pentagon Police, no beards. You can have a mustache, but no beards. So if you're going to interview, for example, the Pentagon Police, and you know that their policy is no beards, shave your beard. Go in clean shaven. Look professional. So that's number one, appearance. Number two, when you go in and you sit down in that chair, whether it's just a chair or it's a table with a chair, you want to sit with your back firm up against the back of the chair, sit straight up. If there is a table, you're going to place both of your hands onto the table. You can overlap your hands like this, or you can do like the fist and cover, but rest them on the table in front. Don't fidget. Do not play with your fingers. Don't twiddle your thumbs. One thing that I like to do is if I'm at a table, and depending on what the angle is, if they can't see it, I will cross my feet kind of under my chair, and I'll wiggle my toes inside my shoes. So it's just a way to get rid of some of that nervous energy. So just make sure they can't see it. You don't want to be seen as being fit. They understand that you're going to be nervous or you're going to be paranoid about your answers and that kind of thing. So they're expecting some nervousness, but try not to show it. They're looking for confidence. Remember, confidence in yourself, confidence in the way you speak. As they ask the questions, they are going to have a list of key points that they want to see you bring up. So every question has a purpose. Tell us a little bit about yourself. One of my favorite questions, because depending on your amount of experience, that can be a very, very long answer. It can be very detailed, or you may want to break it down into simple parts, and then you can expand on anything that they may want to hear about. But when they ask you a question like, tell us a little bit about yourself, they really want to know about your work history, any significant events in your personal life that may contribute to the career field that you're choosing or why you're choosing that career field. But really what they're looking for is your ability to articulate. Can you explain yourself well? So this goes towards, how's your testimony going to be in court? Are you able to articulate facts in a stressful situation? Because if you're out on the street and you get into a call and something comes up and a million things are going on and your mind's racing and it's running, are you going to be able to come back and articulate the facts of everything that happened? So you should be able to articulate the facts during an interview. And again, this runs in a confidence issue. Ask somebody to run you through some questions and do some practice interviews. Maybe sit down and record yourself, kind of like making this video. I'm kind of new at this whole YouTube thing, and so I'm having to make video after video after video, and I'm hoping as I go along, I'll get better. Same thing with interview questions. Set yourself up as you can do it as a video like this, or get a couple of friends that, can make a mock panel, write out some questions for you, and ask and practice answering those questions in front of these people. Let them make up some questions that are going to kind of throw you a curveball so that you can get used to thinking on your feet. So practice your questions or practice your answers. It will help give you confidence in what they're looking for. So when they ask these questions, they'll also, a lot of times they'll take turns asking the questions, and they'll tell you, if we're taking notes, just keep going. We're listening to you, but we're just taking some notes. Make sure that you're looking at each panel member. Take your time, say 10, 15, 20 words, engage one panel member, and then move on to the next one. Engage them for 15, 20 words or whatever, then move back over to the other one, and just keep going back and forth between the panel members. Now, if one's taking notes and the other one's got a good eye lock on you, go ahead and make eye contact. Make sure you give them a little bit of extra time. But as soon as somebody looks up again, transfer over. Acknowledge that person. And that way they also know that you're able to kind of work a room, that you're able to move between people. Because again, if you're out on the street, let's say a domestic dispute, you've got the guy over here saying one thing and you got the girl over here saying another thing, are you able to engage both of them and give them the due attention that's going to help settle that situation down? So, sir, yes, I heard you. Please just wait a second. I'll get to you. Okay, just hang on. Ma'am, go ahead. All right, so during the interview, they're going to have criteria for each question. So if they ask you a question about what is your greatest strength or what is your greatest weakness, they're going to be looking for key words. So the best one is for your greatest weakness. They're going to be looking for, have you overcome it? So one of my standard answers for what is your greatest weakness is, I'm a procrastinator. And I'll tell them, I have a tendency to put things off. So what I do to overcome that is I keep notes. I'll make up a to-do list for today. Things that I need to get done that I can rearrange throughout the day so that I can adjust my priorities to keep me from putting it off until later. So they want to know what your weakness is, but they want to know, what are you doing to overcome that weakness? So again, the interview, they're looking for confidence. They're looking for your ability to articulate. They want to be able to learn about you and also see that you have the confidence and the ability to communicate. Another one is, what does communication mean to you? So you need to understand what communication is. So communication is the exchange of ideas. It's speaking and being able to listen. And I always like to throw in that I think it's very important that you learn to listen to understand, not just listen to respond. A lot of people will hear something, and as soon as they come up with an answer in their head, they quit hearing the rest of the statement. And then as soon as they get the chance, they just respond with what already was stuck in their head. So listening to understand as opposed to listening to respond. All right, so be confident, sell yourself. An interview isn't about displaying your humility. An interview is about selling yourself. You're telling these people why they should hire you. Why would you be a good police officer, or why would you be a good fit for that company? So you have to sell yourself. So like I said in the beginning, there's a difference between humility, arrogance, and confidence. You need to find that line. You need to be able to sell yourself and tell these people why you should be brought on board, why you would be a benefit to that agency or that company. So interviews are all about selling yourself to them. What makes you a valuable member of their team? And please don't ever go into an interview without researching the place that you're going to. So we used to ask people that applied with the Pentagon, so what do you know about the Pentagon Force Protection Agency? Well, you'd better know it was formed after 9/11, 2001, the terrorist attacks on the United States and the Pentagon itself, and that the agency was formed within a year later, and then that's where the Pentagon Police came from. So know a little bit of history. If you're going for a sheriff's office, who's the current sheriff? Who's the deputy chief? Or the undersheriff? Who was the sheriff before that? How long has that sheriff's office been serving that community? Does it go all the way back to the 17 or 1800s? Do some research. Be able to answer those kind of questions because it shows your genuine interest in that locality or that place or that company. Like I said, these interview tips really go for law enforcement or any career field that you want to interview for. So we'll be coming out with some more videos on interviews. Let me know what you think about this one. I know it's kind of gappy or whatever, but there's so much information to share, so many tips and tricks, and I'll be back to share those. Please comment below, subscribe, hit the like button, and as always, be safe out there.